Today I wanted to talk about ghosting. It's another video in the dark because it's late and I can't sleep. And that's usually when I think about things like, the times I've been ghosted. It's happened a couple times in my life, so I'm going to talk about my experiences and I'm going to give my opinion on it. And it's going to be interesting. If you've ever been ghosted, you know the feeling of someone just disappearing from your life without like a real reason at all. You never even get to find out the ending. Maybe you see them again, but you don't know what you did wrong. You know, that situation could happen in a lot of different ways actually, because ghosting doesn't take just one form. It's funny because it really does sound like I'm talking about phantoms, but I'm talking about people. The first time I really remember being ghosted was this girl in like the middle of high school. We were talking through a lot of middle school, and I always had a crush on her. And then in high school, we finally like decided to date, which was we were online, just talking to each other. But we put a label on it. I gave her my account password, just crazy shit. And then at the time, that's deep. After about 5 days, she stopped talking to me, and I just like lost it. Like I really was crying. And then I was texting her paragraphs on paragraphs and not getting replies. Like I knew you was gonna do this, and it still super broke my heart. What am I gonna do without you after 5 days of my life? I don't know how to live. But it was real to me at the time, and I was serious because I really liked the girl, and my emotions were driving me insane. But I got over it, obviously. That girl didn't reply to me the entire time except once, where she basically just led me on, to continue it. At one point, I was like, just say that we'd never be together, say all this, whatever, and it would never work. And she was like, I love you. And I was like, it's like the opposite of what I wanted. I shouldn't have asked her that. I shouldn't have been making her say goodbye because she already did say goodbye. She already was not replying to me. She didn't talk to me for like a week before that. Like 5 days we dated. About 4 days I kept sending messages. And that was when she finally replied. I basically made her. But like I said, that was the first time I was a kid. The act two. Me and my friend would go to this New Year's party. We actually went there 2 years in a row, and one of those years I got to dance with this really nice girl, and the other year I got to dance with this girl who danced with me for like maybe 30 minutes or so. I don't know. It was nice until she asked for my number and said she had to go, and I was like, "Yeah, you could have my phone here. Put your number in, and then I'll text you 100%." I text her. She texted me back and was like, "You're really sweet, all this," and then never replied again after asking for my number. And I was excited. Like I said, she said she had to leave and was like, "Let me get it, please." Like she wanted to continue and then left me hanging. And then at the time, like, that stuff all connects, Instagrams and shit. Like, I see her on Instagram and she posting shit like adding dudes to the roster in the new year. I was like, uh, I don't want to be added to anybody's roster. That is not me, bro. I cannot be that person. Please do not treat me like a fucking piece in your game. So I stopped trying to talk to anybody after that. I stopped trying to chase people. Like I said, actually, the next year when I went to that party, I talked to a girl who was really nice, who didn't make me chase her, who didn't ghost me, and it was great. But yeah, that was a horrible experience because I felt like I got literally played. And don't get me wrong, I know girls go through that all the time, but that's what the dating scene is now. It's whether you're a dude or a girl, it's a bunch of people just playing each other, acting like it's good to have a whole roster of people to talk to. And I don't like that. But beyond that, just talking about ghosting here. I've also had that happen with friends. I don't want to get into the details of this, but I had one friend who stopped talking to me about politics. Like, just completely cut me off because I tried to show him stuff. I tried to talk to him about what I felt was, truth to me. And truth be told, you don't have to talk about the truth of me, like what I think is the truth. You don't have to give me whatever validation. You could just leave it on red. That's fine. But he stopped talking to me altogether. And I tried to move past that shit. Like, I mean, politics came up one time in our relationship and then never again. Like, we didn't have a relationship after that. I didn't make the lights go off. That was just. But yeah, it was embarrassing. Like, for both of us, I feel like if we can't have a conversation like adults, then we must be children. Like, one of my friends owed me money, and I ain't even talked to him in years. And if he showed up tomorrow, I'd be like, we're good, bro. I wouldn't even worry about the money. There ain't no chance I'm holding that shit against him, because those were friends like longer than those relationships. You know, like I would meet those girls over a couple of days, feel a bunch of feelings, and then feel a bunch of worse feelings about them. But for a friendship, it's like, I've known you for years. I thought we were good. I thought everything was tight. Like, and then all of a sudden it just fall apart like that. That's fucked up. Getting back to the main topic of this video, ghosting, I wanted to say that it's actually like, even though it's been done to me a couple times and it's not nice, it's a pretty clear form of communication. Like, it comes across really rude, but what comes across ruder? Making someone sit down and go through all the perceived flaws, or just walking away. Like, if someone's not interested in you, whether it be a relationship, like romantic, or even just a friendship, they don't want to talk anymore, that's an opinion. Like, they're not saying that there's something wrong with you. They don't get to define that. They are literally just saying they don't want to deal with it. And that's, like I said, it might sound fucked up, but everyone has their own life and no one owes each other anything. So if someone is turning their back to you and walking away saying they don't want to talk, okay, go talk to other people. There's a lot of people that we might be attached to. Like, after years of talking, I had close friends. They don't want to talk to me anymore. I just had to accept it. I'm not chasing those people because they don't want to give that energy back to me. If I keep going in that direction, you know, I'm going to end up losing it. And I don't want to blame those people either, because like I said, there are people who actually still owe me, but if they came back tomorrow, I wouldn't want to be resentful looking at them sideways as fuck. Like, I just want that to be their business. If they owed me and they left, that's their business. If I was interested in them and they turned their back to me, that's their business. For whatever reason why they left, I leave it on them and I focus on me. Try to move on to the next thing. Not even just the next person, but, you know, whatever I want to do. Because there's a good chance that person took me off track anyway. Now, I do a lot of this and a lot of putting my hand on my heart because I really try to lead with love. I think it's super important to not hold that shit in our heart, because whenever you like have someone that you're interested in and then they turn their back to you, even if it's a relationship, like a friendship, whatever, that's okay. And you shouldn't now hate that person or feel negative in any way, because guess what? You were interested in them. You liked them. That's the whole reason you're upset. You wouldn't care if someone you didn't like was leaving your life. The whole point is that you were interested. I'm saying be true to yourself, because your life is yours and you were interested in whatever they had to offer. Now that they're offering something different, be honest with that. Appreciate the whole picture. Don't be mad. Be happy that they showed you what the hell they are. You're no longer interested in someone who doesn't show interest in you. They turn their back. Good. Let them. You can't chase people that don't want to be in your life, because, again, that's just wasting energy. That closure comes from within. You can look back on every little action that you did, or you can say, I'm enough. I didn't make a huge mistake. I was just being myself. And I'm going to do my best to keep being myself in the next thing. I like to focus on that too. It's not about being perfect. It's about being you. If you got to convince someone to talk to you, the whole relationship is going to be based on pleasing them. That's not even something you want to be involved in. And I hate to say it like this, but it does go for friends too, because if you're chasing them, trying to please them, being a people pleaser in any way for anyone is not going to end well, because you're at the whim of someone else's whims. They might not even appreciate the thing you get them by the time you get it. I don't want to go too off the rails here, and it's getting late, so let me wrap this video up by saying, you do not need anybody but yourself. Like, of course, it's nice to have people. I'm talking about in here, for yourself. Looking for that closure should come from moving forward, not looking backward. If you're asking someone to explain every single thing that went wrong in a relationship that led to them leaving, what comes from that? You know, like, the end goal of that conversation would just be them leaving anyway. So you're asking someone to give a bunch of opinions about you that make you not you. You just want to be yourself anyway, so don't take a bunch of criticism from someone who's about to literally walk away. And if you don't feel like that's true, if you feel like you need to make yourself better in a bunch of ways, let me just say, you do that by being yourself. You pursue the things that make you happy, you lean into them, and then you share that part of yourself with the world. You don't chase the people-pleasing part of yourself, because every single person has different, like, they would all have a different list. That's the best way to put it. Every single person that would be ghosting you, every single friend, relationship, person that ghosted me, they all had their own reason. I can't sit here and try to compare all these notes and make myself the perfect person. I can only be myself. So I'm really encouraging you. I don't know who you are, but be you so that we can meet that person. Don't try to be the person your neighbor wants you to be, and your friend, and the relationship that you think you want. None of that is you, but you will get you to all of those things. When you are yourself, you will have a good relationship with that neighbor, that friend, that fucking everything. Being the fullest version of yourself does not mean just doing every single little thing that you feel. It means living with yourself, feeling like you're enough, knowing that whenever someone texts you or doesn't text you, that you're gonna be okay. You don't need to get that little bit of closure from them. You get it from being yourself and moving on with your life. You have your own things going on. And I mean that very like it could be another person, someone that's interested in talking to you. Yeah. Peace out and love. And remember, don't chase people because they're not looking back, man. You don't want to hear what they have to say anyway. It's peace and love. Look to your future. I am out.